Good morning, dear viewers and everyone who's watching us through KTV2. Welcome to a new episode of your morning program, Good Morning Kuwait. And today, as always, we have various segments and special guests that we are so happy and pleased to have them with us this morning. So please keep watching us till the end of the program and never go away. So good morning, Aziz.
Good morning to you, and good morning our working crew, and good morning everyone, and welcome to your show Good Morning Kuwait. This is your host Abdelaziz Darwish. We are coming to you live this morning from the Ministry of Information studios here in downtown Kuwait. As usual in our show, our camera crew are traveling all around our lovely country, state of Kuwait, to show you great events. We have also a distinguished guest who are going to join us today in this live permitting from now until 10 a.m. And also usually in our show, Sarah, in Good Morning Kuwait, now it's a new season. It's a new year, 2023. Too many things we have to accomplish. So what about your list now to accomplish this year?
Well, I have too many lists to be accomplished and achieve. I'll always be optimistic and work so hard to achieve my goals and my dreams. But before that, Aziz, let's talk about that great event that happened yesterday in the Gulf Cup in Basra in Iraq, which our Kuwait national football team won and defeated actually our brotherly country, United Arab of Emirates, 1-0. What was really great.
It was a very great match. It was in Al Basra in the Gulf Cup, the 25th.
Yes.
Of this cup. It's usually Kuwait already. Our national team won 10 times in this tournament, and I wish them all the best for upcoming for the team. So on behalf of our show Good Morning Kuwait, we're sending our congratulations and gratitude for the Kuwait national football team for their win yesterday. It was in the extra time, 92
minutes, that was
yeah.
really great. It was a lovely actually tournament. It was really lovely to be proud of our Kuwait national team, and I wish you all the best of luck. Be our Kuwaiti proud of you. So Aziz, let's get back to 2023. As we said, this was really a full and richy actually year, and I hope it's going to be lovely and happy year for all of you, dear viewers. So Aziz, do you have any plans?
Actually, I have a lot of plans. We can say there is like three types of plans. There is a short-term plans, there is medium-term plans, and there's also long-term plans.
Amazing.
When we mention about the long-term plans, it's about your certificate. If you want to continue, you want to take master degree or PhD. The medium term, we'll call it the medium term of the plans. It's about what you want to do for your health, what you want to do, something for you in the future. Maybe if you want to start your own business, you want to do a new plan, like you have to change too many things.
Yes.
The short term about your health, about your safety, maybe bad habits you want to change. Maybe if you are a smoker, you will quit smoking.
Exactly.
Maybe you want to do some new exercise, maybe new habits. So that's a good thing about the plans.
Well said, Aziz. That's really lovely information you said to us, Aziz. And I know a lot of people now are having some new plans, and also having, as you said, like having a new habit, actually our new hobby as like a sport, as you mentioned. And some people, they have to go some outdoors activities since the weather is getting really nice and really lovely, isn't it, Aziz?
Yeah, so when you speak about the weather forecast, you already know now it's the winter time. Even me and my co-host Sarah, we are wearing the winter clothes. Let's check the weather forecast for today. Now we'll be right back. We are back to our show again, Good Morning Kuwait. Now it's time for our daily segment of Kona. His Highness the Emir, Sheikh Nawaf Al-Ahmed Al-Jaber Al-Sabah, sent a cable on Tuesday to the Sultan of Oman, Haytham bin Tariq, congratulating him on the 3rd anniversary of his throne assumption.
Kuwaiti Minister of Commerce and Industry Mazen Al-Nahd said that the Google Cloud plan to set up a local office in Kuwait and invest in opening a state-of-the-art cloud region in the country would promote its digital infrastructure.
The price of Kuwaiti oil went up to US dollars 1.92 to US dollars 79.24 per barrel, said Kuwait Petroleum Corporation, KPC.
Kuwait edged past a stubborn UAE, said in a Gulf Cup group stage encounter on Tuesday, courtesy of an Al-Ahmed Dhafiri free kick in the 93rd minute of stoppage time. The result leaves Kuwait in the 3rd place of Group B with as many points, trailing Qatar and Bahrain. This is all the news we have, dear viewers, for today. And now let's have this tiny little break and then we'll move on.
We are back to our show again. Good morning, Kuwait. Now we're heading for our first interview segment. Traffic is always the viand of any city which needs to recured by the special people and special regulations. Today we will shed the light on some important area led by the Ministry of Interior. At the top of these subjects, we will focus on traffic cameras and even more. So please welcome with us Captain Sara Jamil from the Ministry of Interior. Hello, Captain Sara, and good morning.
Hello, good morning to you, Aziz, and to our dear viewers, and welcome to the Ministry of Interior segment.
Well, good morning, Captain Sara. First of all, let's talk about the traffic cameras in general and the sixth generation in particular. How important they are, Captain Sara, what we should focus on to be aware, especially as drivers, actually.
Yes, good morning to you again, Sarah. The main purpose of having the sixth generation camera or the cameras in general to ensure the safety of the drivers through monitoring the roads to reduce the violations that may cause accidents. It's very important here, Sarah, to mention that we have many kinds of cameras and they are programmed in different ways. For example, the first one control and monitor the speed only. The second one next to the traffic lights, next to the intersection areas, and the square one, maybe you saw it. Okay, this is the program to monitor, the speed and crossing the red light. And it's very important here to clarify that the intersection speed in the same of the road speed, and it's around between 60 to 80. It depends on the sign in the road. Also, we have point-to-point. And the technique of these cameras, it's the first one, for example, observe all vehicles and it measures the speed. For example, if the distance between camera 1 to camera 2, it means point 1 to point 2, must take, for example, 2 minutes, and the driver reached the second point in 1 minute, for example, that means he exceeded the speed limit and it will be considered as a violation. And the last one, as you talked about, the sixth generation, and it has multiple advantages. And the main goal of these cameras, Sarah, not the violation, but to reduce the number of people killed or seriously injured because of car accidents. So the sixth generation has many advantages. It will track speed on roads and the traffic lights. Also, they will automatic control of instance prohibited turning right or left or driving backward against the traffic, in addition to stopping in the yellow box at the traffic light intersection, also tracking and monitoring the using of mobile phone while driving and seat belt violations.
That's really great.
Nice. And we already see the shots of the glimpse also about the Ministry of Interior cameras, how they are covering in the, we call it the capital governorate, Al-Asama governorate. So our guest, after the rain, the weather became very nice and calm, and people start going outdoor. What there with more activities to be done, especially camping, fishing, and even more. What do you like to tell them about regarding for this topic?
Yes, Aziz. Yes, as you mentioned, and it's very important here to clarify that the spring camping locations are determined by Kuwait municipality, so any camp outside these locations will be removed. But now we want to talk about something different, the one-day kashta or the desert, who are going to the desert for 1 day, we call it here in Kuwaiti kashta. It's very important to set your tent or your camp away from military bases or oil sector facilities, electrical cables and power lines, and also avoid the placing the light bulbs and flammable materials in contact with the tent. And it's very important to prevent the possibility of suffocation from carbon monoxide by not placing the fire pit inside the tent until the fire completely put out. Also remove the fire pit from the tent before going to sleep. And I think yesterday the fire force, they received many cases about the suffocation, so please be careful of this. Don't burn waste, don't use the fireworks in the camping sites, and when the there is a strong wind blow, make sure to put out the fire as soon as possible to prevent any potential fire hazard. And it's strictly, Aziz, prohibited and forbidden to use licensed or unlicensed hunting weapons at the campsite. And for parents, be careful, because it's in accordance with the children protection law. It's prohibited for minors to rent or drive motorcycles or buggies in the public roads.
That's really great, Captain Sarah. You just gave us some valuable, actually, advices regarding the rains and camping. But what is your big and golden advice for our dear viewers?
Yes, Sarah. Maybe I will conclude the segment today. Just it's regarding to the camping. Just be careful. I want to tell them, be careful. Don't approach or tamper any foreign objects, because maybe it's a bomb or mine. So just call the emergency hotline 112. Don't touch any foreign objects, and make sure to buy winter wonderland tickets or any music or concerts or these entertainment venues or activities from the official website. For example, the Winterland, many cases received, or many reports registered in the cybersecurity department about some people, they are scamming the citizens and residents because of this subject. So make sure to buy the Winterland tickets exclusively from the official website, www.winterland.kw. Avoid any other sellers on social media, even if the payment links are from Kuwaiti banks. For example, one of my relatives, unfortunately he scammed before 3 days, around 3 days, and the number from outside Kuwait, and he bought the ticket, and then the scammer, he blocked him. And when I asked him why you do this, he told me, I don't know, it's a Kuwaiti bank link. I told him never buy, because they are scammers. So please be careful. Buy your entertainment tickets for the parks, the music concerts, or these venues from the official websites only. That's all for today.
Nice. Captain Sarah Jamil Faraidun, before we end the topic, usually we take the benefits of this interview by the Ministry of Interior to know more about what's happening in the state of Kuwait. We already see like some of the shots about the cameras of the Ministry of Interior, and we call it the capital and Al-Asima Governorate. What about the traffic condition for usually in the state of Kuwait during today?
Today, to be honest, the good thing in our show is to start at 9. So the peak hour in Kuwait City, Aziz, starts from 7 to 9. Then the roads are calmed down. Again, the traffic, the second peak hour, the second period, I mean, starts from 1 to 3. Now the roads are calmer down. But usually at morning time, in the peak time, the major roads towards Kuwait City, like, for example, King Isa, King Faisal, Maghrib, Airport Road, all these big or major roads congested at the peak time. Now the traffic movement is looking fairly good, but we have a problem, as you mentioned, maybe at Al-Asima, especially the commercial areas like Sharq, or maybe next to your ministry, because many cafes, banks, and some people, they are parked their car in non-designated areas to buy coffee, or, for example, withdraw money from the bank, and these violations really make a big traffic jam in that area. So we want to remind the viewers again, please don't park in non-designated areas, because these acts block the roads and make traffic congestions in the roads. Also, try to use the GPS technology, I mean the maps in your maps application, in your mobile phone, so you can find less crowded routes and reach your destination safely, and avoid stucking also in the traffic. Avoid any distractions. Fasten your seatbelt. Don't turn suddenly. Don't change your lane suddenly and use the turn signal before changing your lane. So we will ensure in this, by following these traffic rules, Aziz, we will ensure that no car accidents that cause these kinds of congestions. Because, Aziz, if there is a car accident, It will take time to move the car to the right side and to clean the road from the glass. So this takes time and cause this congestion for a long time.
That's really great, Captain Sarah. Thanks for the technology actually for increasing the safety in the roads, and also that's really great news that we're gonna starting having the 6th generation camera that's really gonna increase the safety all around the road. Thank you so much, Captain Sarah Jamil, for your advices and for your updates.
You're most welcome.
Big thanks and appreciation to our dear colleague, Captain Sarah Jamil from Public Relations and Media Security. Dear viewers, don't go away. Let's have this tiny little break and then we'll move on. And we are back again, dear viewers. Let's move on with our special episode for today. And now, Aziz, let's talk about inventions. We just talked with Sarah, Captain Sarah Jamil, about the technology actually that really makes our life much easier. And now we start having a lot of inventions. I love actually the science field, isn't it, Aziz?
The more inventions we have, the more facilities we got. We
Great.
always usually talk about the inventions, and even we not forget about the innovators who are doing an amazing job. I know that we are even presenting here. I know some people in the KFAS and Kuwait Institute for Scientific Research, they are doing an amazing job for their research, for their invention. Even it's worth mentioning about the Kuwait University, how they are doing, the people who are even the students, even the instructors, even the associate professors, and even the professors, they are doing an amazing job for the research, for the invention. And also, you know, during these days, it's like the engineering senior projects already publishing, you know, and also in the prisons, one of the, like in the governmental sector, it wasn't a huge event for the, we call it the engineering inventions, the senior projects. When you see their inventions, how they are doing, and even the government are always supporting them to many sectors from public and private, you will be proud about what they are accomplishing during.
Exactly, Aziz, as you mentioned last week, we had like the great event, the Kuwait SAT, first SAT in Kuwait. That was really a great invention that includes too many engineers and researchers. That's really lovely to have such a huge and big event with such lovely actually scientists here in Kuwait. So speaking about inventions, Aziz, let's move on. You know, dear viewers, from wireless pair earrings, headphones, to a flying electronic boat. Wow, that's really great.
So it's like moving too. So we are for innovations and also caught attention at CES 2023, the annual technology industry show in Las Vegas.
Let's watch, dear viewers, this interesting report about inventions, and we'll move on actually.
They are using the directional sound technology that we have patented, and we send the sound from the pearl into the ear, and the ear canal is free. That means you have a music surrounding you. It's a very a new sound experience, and you can be connected without disconnecting to the surrounding.
With our Kohler Numi 2.0 smart toilet, you'll never leave the lid up again. It's a completely touchless experience that closes and flushes automatically as you leave the bathroom.
It's designed for workers in physically demanding job, and what it does, it keeps people healthy when they lift. This is a 40-pound weight. The device enables me to lift it, obviously, but what it really does, it helps me to keep my back healthy. It supports me with 66 pounds on every lift. That means the 40 pounds I have here is not on my back. The specialty about the product is it's an AI-enabled. That means it learns how I move and it can support me in the way that I need to be supported as an individual.
We are back to our show again. Good morning, Kuwait. We're heading from, we call it inventions to crafting. I know you are a big fan of art. You love art. Craft is one of the arts.
Exactly, crafting and handmade. Actually, I love these types of art. So, dear viewers, let's see this report. Crafting, creating, and is a sense of community is the aim of her work. What we will see, dear viewers, is a co-created by Lubna Assaib.
So she was already been developing this in the past 10 years, and this not only the creative force behind the organization, but she's also involved in conducting many of the workshops also, Sarah.
Exactly, dear viewers, let's see this report.
Good morning, Kuwait, and welcome back. My name is Lubna, and I'm a bead maker. So one of the things that a lot of people ask are specifically with the beads is what would be the difference between the different types of jewelry or body adornment that we work with. And so you've got earrings and you've got different types of necklaces, anklets, bracelets, and a lot of other different body adornment articulations. The difference is basically how you want to design it and how you want to wear it. So a lot of times what people will do is they'll think about the bead that they're going to be making based on an idea and to make a finished piece, and then they'll be making the bead. I tend to like to work backwards. I like to spend a lot of time making the beads, and then as I'm making the beads, ideas come from nature. I dream about a lot of the body adornment that I've made in the past. So what I like to do is make a lot of different shapes. A lot of times you can work with the same shape of the bead that you've got, or you could even, some of the things that you can do is you can shape the glass around a ring mandrel to make rings or circular shapes. You can create circular shapes off mandrel on the torch as well. And the other thing that you can also do is something that a lot of people don't see because it's not as visually exciting as the flame working or the bead making, which is what we call cold working. So we have these machines where you're polishing. So you're using sandpaper, you're polishing the piece down. So I could take a bead and I could actually polish it down so that it could fit into another piece or a cabochon or a fitting. So there are lots of different ways, but the thing that we recommend the most for folks to do is to experiment, play, make as many mistakes as you think you need, because guess what? With every mistake, you're going to learn a whole new set of lessons. And a lot of the mistakes that I've made have ended up resulting in some of the most beautiful pieces that I've made and that I've gifted or that I've adorned as well. So depending on the pieces, it varies, but at the end of the day, if you are looking at making things that have meaning and you're not overproducing, which is something that we're very mindful of here, is you think about the idea of the piece that you're making or the collection that you're making. Where does it come from? And in terms of what is the driving, let's say, essence of that piece. So it could be, I could make a set of earrings after we've taken them off the mandrel and I've cleaned them. I could make a set of earrings from within 10 minutes. And then there could be another pair of earrings that could take me weeks depending on the design and the complexity of the design. But what's really important through all the processes is even if it's a really simple piece, it's always the detail of the finishing, of the findings that you're using, the quality of the tools that you're using as well, and the raw materials that you're using all end up in something really stunning and beautiful. So it doesn't matter how many you make. What matters is that the ones you do make have been made, with a lot of heart and soul and a lot of time dedicated to the finishing. And that's one of the reasons why it's really hard for me whenever I go, and I see things or I'm shopping, nothing really pleases me because I know what it takes to make beads. And so I don't make anything that's commercial. They're artisanal, they're bespoke. Sometimes we get commissions. Most of the things that people gravitate are the earrings and the necklaces, rings and anklets. Bracelets too, but there are a lot of other things you can do with them. They could be accessories on bags, they could be accessories in your home decor. We use beads a lot in home decor as well. So what really matters is what is your imagination and how you are willing to articulate your imagination. Make a beautiful mess. At the end of the day, it's the process that matters.
Wow, dear viewers, that was really a lovely report with Lubna Saif, how she done some like handmade crafting, like arts, crafting, embroidery and painting, music, all type of arts. Is such a big, important, actually a part, takes a big part of our life of releasing and the stress. And as she mentioned, Lubna Saif, we can use our art and benefit from our art as a decoration and return to a business. Like it was really an important and amazing report, dear viewers. So now let's move on from crafting art to medicine. Strawberry nevis, or let's say, is a red birthmark named for its color. This red touch of skin comes from a collection of blood vessels close to the skin's surface, where eczema develop red, dry, itchy patches on the skin that result from inflammation. Now, dear viewers, we will have with you Dr. Lujane El Ben Ali. She is a head dermatology department to help us building a knowledge on both pediatric and adult dermatology. So hello and good morning, Dr. Lujane.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
You are most welcome. We are so pleased to have you in our show today. So first of all, doctor, we'd like to know more about yourself.
Well, I graduated from Kuwait University, and after that my training was in UK. In London and in Sheffield and in Leeds. I did a fellowship on pediatric dermatology, which is dermatology for kids, and laser dermatology and connective tissue diseases.
So you specialize in the children, actually.
Children, yeah.
That's amazing. So in the field of dermatology, let's talk about diagnosing and treatment of like any type of skin problems. Is it really differentiates between the adults and the pediatric?
Yes, because there are some conditions that you can only find in children. Some infectious diseases that you will only find in children. And there are some diseases, however, even if they are in children and adults, the management differs. So managing the children in terms of treatment, in terms of the interventional medications that we use can be different than the adults.
How exactly is different, Dr. Lujane?
Well, for example, there are, in terms of, let's just say, lasers, in an adult, an adult usually has a higher pain threshold, higher tolerance. We just use a local anesthetic and then we can just go on with the laser. With a child, we have to factor in other things. You know, sometimes general anesthesia has to be involved. Sometimes we would postpone that and leave it as a last resort and then go to other types of oral medications or topical medications before we go to, for example, lasers.
Yes, that's great. So in the introduction, Dr. Lujane, we spoke about the strawberry nevis. This name is really strange. So can you please tell us more about this type of treatment?
Well, a strawberry nevis is an infantile hemangioma. What it is it's just a collection of blood vessels. We call it a benign collection of blood, an overgrowth of blood vessels, which usually happens when the child is in utero, in the mommy's tummy. After delivery, it usually presents as a little dot, sometimes even negligible. Within the first 4 weeks, it starts appearing, it starts growing, and then keeps on growing till 6 months, sometimes to a year and a half, and then starts to regress. It's usually fine. It's not a neoplasm. There's nothing to worry about. When it does become a problem is when interferes with some structures. If it's on the nose, interferes breathing. When it's on the mouth, interferes feeding. When sometimes it's in the throat and it interferes with breathing and feeding. Or sometimes on the feet, where it interferes with the milestones, the motor milestones. That's when we decide to treat.
Is it really noticeable, doctor, this type of like, let's say, the type of disease that has the children? So is it really noticeable, like the parents can notice that in their
yes,
baby?
yes. When it grows, it can grow. It can go from, it can get up to 5 centimeters, 10 centimeters large.
Oh, okay.
It can be really red and really noticeable. 60% of them are on the head and neck. So 60%. So a child can have it on the nose, on the mouth will be swollen.
Yeah.
The cheek, the eyes. So it is noticeable. Sometimes parents come to treat it only for cosmetic purposes because they're afraid that it will disfigure their baby. So even if it's on the jaw, and it's not interfering with breathing or with eating, it still can be of concern.
And it still can be treated as well.
It can be treated, yes, it can be treated.
So, doctor, let's talk now about eczema, since we are like living in the winter season and a lot of people like having some eczema, dry skin, itchy skin, red skin. So how can actually we avoid such a disease?
Okay, well, you can't really avoid eczema. Eczema is multifactorial. There is a genetic factor and there is an environmental factor.
Okay.
We can manage it as much as we can. Moisturization is key, and by moisturization, I mean using the medicated, non-fragranced, non-protein moisturizers that actually help the skin barrier and help the lipid layer of the skin regenerate.
Yes.
Moving away from harsh soaps, that's important. I've got a lot of patients that come that are moisturizing, but no one's told them that they need to stay away from soap, or it didn't factor into their thinking that they actually need to stay away from soaps. So they use ridiculous stuff like Lux and Dettol, and that's very harsh for the skin.
Yes, so they can use like this antibacterial, like let's say soap. So what type of soap they should like use, like the shower gel? It should be like
always a soap substitute. Always a soap. That's the medicated, the QV, or you know, there are some.
That has less perfumes, let's say.
Less perfumes, less perfumes, less chemicals, less preservatives, disinfectants. All these soaps, these harsh sulfates. Sulfate is a horrible chemical to put on your skin. And most of them do have sulfates. So that's something that you need to
be considered. So, doctor, I know a lot of the eczema patients they use loofah, that really like hard loofah to like scrub their body, and also they use scrub as well. So, and also they use the Moroccan bath, like they say this is fine. It's like having some bath and it's fine. It's really like it's really harm them, isn't it?
No, I would never recommend using loofahs. If you want to scrub it, I would recommend staying in the shower, steaming your body for a little bit, and then using your own skin to sort of gently exfoliate. Do not use loofahs now.
Yeah, so we saw here on the screen some of body lotions.
Okay.
So it's really, as you mentioned, we have to moisturize like twice a day, or like as much as we can.
3 times a day is the rule. We have a rule amongst dermatologists that 500 mLs should finish in 2 weeks. So that's a big bottle that should finish in 2 weeks. And just keep on moisturizing, especially in the winter months.
Okay, that's great. And I know some people, especially teenagers, when they see the advertisement in Instagram and social media, and say this like body lotion or this type of soap of like shower gels, like it's important and it's lovely, and they just go in the pharmacy and buy it without consultancy, without going to a dermatologist. So what is your advice for them?
Well, if It depends. If your skin is problematic, if you do have eczema, you have a history of eczema, if you have a history of acne, if there is an actual condition that you are trying to treat, I would always go to a dermatologist first.
Yes.
If it's normal skin and you're just wanting skincare and you're just wanting, you know, it's not something medicated, then I'm sure our pharmaceutical friends would be, you know, capable of advising.
Yeah, if it's like a simple a case, I can go to the pharmacy. Maybe the pharmacist can advise me to any
for
type.
simple moisturizing, yes. But if there is an actual condition, if there's eczema, acne, you know, a proper condition, I would always seek the dermatologist first.
So what about like the visceral cases for kids? Let's talk about this type of let's say disease.
Sorry, what?
The vascular cases, treating the
vascular. Yeah. Well, hemangioma is one of them, and that is, like we said, we either can use a topical treatment, we can use tablet treatment, or oral treatment, or lasers. Other vascular conditions are a port wine stain, and that is also a different sort of that is when the patient is actually born and it stays the same. It doesn't grow, it's just a red patch that is there. And it can cause disfigurement, and it can cause, depending on where it is on the body. And that can also be, we can lessen it, we can lessen the redness, we can lessen the appearance cosmetically, but you can't really sort of shrink it as much as the hemangioma.
Yes, that's amazing. So we spoke about vascular actually cases and also the cerebrally venous. So what actually kids have more common in diseases like skin diseases? What type of diseases they have more?
Well, depending on the age. Once you get, well, we've been seeing these past few years really that acne has started at an earlier age. Puberty has started at an earlier age, and therefore acne has started at the age of 9. And that is something that is of concern, because there are medications that you really use at 9 that we can use for acne. So it's gotten a bit tricky to manage.
Yes. Why is that, in your opinion, doctor?
It's a multitude of factors. It's the way we live. I think it's the way we eat. There's no, you know, one special cause.
Yes.
But all doctors, endocrinologists, dermatologists, all people have found that puberty has started earlier, and therefore the problems of puberty have started earlier.
Yes.
And it just makes it trickier to manage.
That's amazing. So, doctor, let's move on from children to adults.
Okay.
To a girl, actually, to girls, actually.
Okay.
So, how can we make our skin glowy and healthy? We know a lot of girls, they're using too many products in their face, in their hair, in their body, just to make a perfect skin, a perfect body skin. So, what is your advice for them? Is this like for the quantity or for the quality?
I would always advise quality, and quality doesn't necessarily mean pricey. Quality just means well-known, medicated brands. I wouldn't seek the brands that are in the beauty shops, you know, like Chanel and all of those. Not necessarily; those aren't necessarily the good creams. I would go to, you know, well-known sort of medicated brands that you would find in the pharmacy. Hyaluronic acid is very, very important for radiance, for moisture, for creating a dewy sort of fresh look.
Yes.
But again, not all creams or all serums can say they have hyaluronic acid.
Yes.
I would actually ask the percentage and see if it actually is appropriate for your skin, or if it actually is doing something.
That's great. What about the anti-aging creams? I know the girls starting from age 23 maybe, they start putting some anti-aging. So what is your recommendation about that?
I would again. I prescribe to the school of prevent before anything happens. So I would always try to moisturize. Use a good moisturizer with hyaluronic acid. If you're not allergic to vitamin C, that is something that's an antioxidant that is brilliant for the skin. There are a lot of types of fruit acids. Are also good for the skin, and the earlier, not 20s, but the earlier you start with anti-age creams, the more you delay sort of the process later of the normal aging process, weathering, fine lines, wrinkles, hyperpigmentation with all the sunspots, sunblock. Yes, sunblock. Oh, I can't stress that enough, okay? Because if anything ages your skin, it's the sun. So instead of focus on the creams, that's fine. But sun cream is absolutely essential.
Essential. Yeah. So what percentage should be put in our faces? Like 50% of the sunblocks?
SPF 50, but the number doesn't matter to me as much as the application matters. So when they say SPF 50, they mean 1 gram per centimeter square. So that's a lot. Yes. So it's like you're putting a foundation. So I would put it on, wait for it to sink in, find a sun cream that you're comfortable with, that you like, okay? Because you need to like it, because you're going to be putting a lot of layers.
Exactly.
You put a layer, wait for it to sink in, put another layer, wait for it to sink in, put another layer. It's especially for us living in a sunny climate, whether it's summer or winter. So yeah, sun cream.
Sun cream. It's so essential in our lives, in our life as a girls. So even for the boys, actually, even for men.
Yes.
Not only for a girl.
Yes.
So Dr. Lujin, let's get back to pediatric and children. Actually, what is your big advice for parents to get to like let's say make their skin of their children safe, especially in the winter season?
Okay. Well, we're talking about normal children, not eczema.
Yes, normal children.
In the winter months, again, what I would never use. I'm a dermatologist, so I would never use soap. So I would always go with a soap substitute. Yes. A little bit of mineral oil or baby oil in the water as they bathe is very good. It can moisturize the skin.
Yes.
A lot of creaming, like I said, 500 ml should finish in about 2-3 weeks for kids. And again, sun cream.
Again, sun cream.
Yeah, sun cream.
That was really a lovely interview, Dr. Lujin, and rich for and variable actually information.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
So, dear viewers, let's move on. But let's have this tiny little break, and then we'll be right back to you.
We are back again to our show again. Good morning, Kuwait. We had already a wonderful interview segment. From interview segment, for our report, we'll talk about something, it reflects about our heritage, our art, our history. We'll talk about the wonderful village we consider Yom al-Bahar, which is already one of the most important tourist attractions that highlight the famous and deep history of the state of Kuwait, Sarah.
Indeed, Aziz, in the past it was one of the most famous areas for the pearl trade and many other commercial products. In addition, it has many shops specialized in selling gifts and small souvenirs. There are a number of restaurants and cafes in the village that serve different dishes.
So let's watch this following report about the village. Then we'll be right back.
Well, Yom al-Bahar, one of the most beautiful historical actually place in here in Kuwait that attracts many generations, starting from children, youth, and even the elderly people. And I have so many memories actually in Yom al-Bahar, especially my childhood, isn't it, Aziz? What about you?
Actually the same, because it's like something about our heritage. We go with my parents when I was young to go there to play, we call it the traditional games.
Yes.
It's already been there.
I still still remember that big box when all the children is in this box and someone just push you around. It was really lovely and nice, actually, memories.
We call it like the heritage. The simple things makes more beautiful.
Exactly.
So simple attraction, we can say.
Simple attraction as Al-Mubarakiya, Yom al-Bahar, and we have too many heritage here places in Kuwait, lovely places. So dear viewers, I hope you enjoyed our episodes as much as we did. See you for the next one and have a warm day. Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow. Have a good day.